gentlemen, your ringside position, Dr. Peter Lewis, as we get rolling for the first of our no decision kickboxing matches. Would you welcome on my right, occupying the blue corner from Frankston, scaling 83 kilograms, Jerry Katamasidis. Jerry Katamasidis, come on, welcome to the Malvern City Hall on this Friday night. And across the ring, occupying the red corner, with his mentor who's left the ring somehow. There he is, Moggy, the Magic Man. Krikellis, ladies and gentlemen, fresh from a big win on the last Michael Vukovic show at Moorabbin from Chelsea. Would you welcome Mark Haig. Ignatius Miscellaneous, it's all yours. Here we go. Oh, the ladies know it's no decision. Oh, Stab, we're getting that feedback. Round one.
The knock in the fibula, the tibia, or any weaknesses there with the shin guards on. It's a great move, that. That's a bit like similar to putting down his headgear on a boxer, you know, to a certain degree, because the leg takes a lot of punishment in kickboxing. One of those boys got Muay Thai trunks on, he trains under Muay Thai rules. They both of them have actually. The Thai version of kickboxing, yeah. There's different rules, different rules. There's Faye Leach over there.
Let's go round one.
Before. She's Crane's mentor. That's right. She was actually a minute of de facto relationship with David Hitchcock for a lengthy period of time. Bemused by that. See that money come. He said, "Now I know 3 days after we got that money, why I want to go to Hawaii with me for 3 weeks. I was going to pay." Muscle down on the ground and see that may not go ahead. You want to head down and check that out? That's the official board sheet. Beautiful venue for boxing, isn't it?
Telling him,
they're all taped up. Darako was taped up. I think I saw him. Shook hands with him. Julian Horn was in. Carlos Costello was also here tonight too, Robert. He's with Julian. ball fight, not an exhibition. They're going hard at it. He's working overtime. He's working overtime, Bernie, at the moment. Yes, it's more than 5 kilos, and you can't have them more than 5 kilos in any division of heavyweight.
Global part of the Great Boxing Combat Group, Denirol and the Purcell twins. Welcome you guys. Thanks for joining me. The traumas of being a boxing promoter is often fighters take sick. They can't come in via Qantas or Ansett as it was. Many factors become involved, and often weight is a big consideration. Would you give a warm, formal welcome to our promoter tonight, Mr. Peter Maniatis, PM Maniatis, Team Promotions. Peter, welcome along. Not such good news on one front.
No, there's a bit of weight separation between Frank Jumper and Dominic Laraco, and the boxing board won't let him even do an exhibition.
Okay, disappointment, Peter. Frank Jumper from Griffith, New South Wales, now living in Burnie, Tasmania, against Dominic Laraco. Last year voted with Jim Cheetahs in the fight of the decade. Bad luck for Dominic and Frank. Come on, give a big round of applause. Dominic Laraco and Frank Jumper, unfortunately, can't be on tonight's big show. Bad luck, guys. Peter will be back a little later to thank you for being part of the action. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. Welcome to a night of professional boxing. For your enjoyment, Howardly is my name. Boxing is my business, and business is good. Peter Maniatis, PM, Team Promotions. Welcome you along to the Melbourne City Hall. As the famous American General, General Douglas MacArthur said, when leaving Japan during World War II, we shall return. We did return to the Melbourne City Hall because you demanded it after our great show here last year. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show, Young Talent Time, Judgment Day, going live on Sky Fight Night. Thank you for your indulgence. Here we go. Let's get rolling on show number 8, Team Promotions. 4 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 young men who have won state, East Coast and national kickboxing championships. Stepping into the ring tonight, turning to Marquis of Queensbury Rules. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome on my left, occupying the red corner, trained by Ivan Refo, with Steve as a party in the corner, wearing lurid gold and silver trunks. Ladies and gentlemen, kickboxing, he's an East Coast champion. 20 kickboxing fights, 15 wins. From Melbourne's western region, Werribee South, on the way to the city of Geelong. He works on the land, he is a farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome tonight's scaling 74.40 kilograms, the man they dubbed Hollywood, Tony Miletic. And across the ring in the blue corner, trained by Bryce Birdwhistle, arguably one of Australia's finest kickboxing referees, with former champ Louis Isophilis from Malvern. Here we are in Melbourne, from the Melbourne Martial Arts Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, a spectacular kickboxing career of 14 fights from Melbourne's southeastern region, Ormond. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing black trunks with almost grey trim. He once met Austin De La Hoya, worked down in East Los Angeles with a great 4 times world champ, scaling 72.85 kilograms, 1 professional fight, 22nd knockout on the big Michael Vukovic show at Springvale recently. Would you welcome a man dubbed the babyface assassin, Nick Krikellis? Your judges are ringside, there's Anika Williams, Mick Croucher, and world standard Gus Mercurio. When the bell tolls, your man in charge of the action from Berwick, Victoria. World Championship referee judge, Malcolm Moller. Malcolm, your referee's instructions for opening bouts of the evening. Welcome to Sky Boxing.
We're on.
Yes, we're on.
Yep. Here we are at Malvern Town Hall for Peter Maniatis team promotions here tonight. I have to my right Brian Membry. I'm Stephen J. Peake and we're commentating here tonight at ringside our first bout, Brian, between Tony Miletic, Hollywood Tony Miletic, and Nick Krikellis, the baby-faced assassin. Brian, here tonight at Malvern Town Hall, a packed crowd.
A packed crowd and the mecca of boxing, it looks like. It's got quite a good crowd of people here, and we're really looking forward to a big night of boxing.
And we certainly are. Krikellis goes in trying to attack there. Both boys come from a kickboxing background too, Brian, which is something that we rarely see. Two former kickboxers going at it at boxing. We've had about 20 bouts each in kickboxing.
Quite a number of people now coming from kickboxing into the Marquess of Queensbury, and it could certainly do with that influx.
Certainly, and those who didn't hear the ring announcer Howard Leigh pronounce that Tony Miletic has the lurid silver trunks with gold pipings, and Nick Krikellis is in the black trunks with white pipings or grey.
Nick is actually from Ormond, Laurie Mithen territory, if you follow.
St Albans,
no,
Brian.
Ormond, I believe.
Ormond, was it?
Ormond, yeah.
And that one's south, one's north.
Laurie Mithen territory.
That's right, the former Melbourne football champion. Yeah. And now Malcolm Bullner, the referee, world champion class referee, Malcolm Bullner moves in to separate these two boys. At the moment, a pretty even fight. Krikellis comes in underneath. No real damage done so far, Brian. The boys just having a good look at each other, I think.
Yeah, they're just taking it easy.
So for all, Krikellis swung that right cross wide and handsome.
He's got a handsome name, the baby-faced assassin.
He certainly has.
Where'd that come from, Has?
Oh, there's a few baby-faced assassins around, Brian, but we won't go into the others. And here comes Tony Miletic. Just got a couple of jabs in there into Krikellis. Krikellis fighting back. Krikellis recently fought on a Vukovic program in Springvale and did a great job down there. Ended the fight very quickly.
Lovely left hook.
And Miletic bobbing and weaving there, comes across the top with the right hand. Caught Krikellis on the head region, Brian.
Yes. It's quite an even go at this point, I think.
Yeah, there goes the bell for the end of the first round. A fairly, I would say, scrappy affair, Brian, so far.
Pretty even?
Pretty even. There weren't too many clean punches thrown in that bout.
The red just landed a couple of good uppercuts.
Well, that's fair enough. Now, in that first round, as I said, I think it was a bit scrappy. Both boys, to me at the moment, looking a little bit rusty because a number of punches were thrown and didn't land. And the boys throwing punches and missing at this point in time. So get the rust out the system. Hopefully next round perhaps a bit smoother.
Will be a bit clearer. We'll see a clearer picture.
Certainly is. But Krikellis, we know Krikellis actually, you may not have seen him before, Brian, but he is a scrappy fighter at times. He's got class, but he doesn't mind a street scrap. He's very good from that point of view.
He seems to have a bit of physical strength there with the way he punches.
He certainly has.
He rips him up, and I thought he might have just edged that round.
You thought Miletic?
Yeah.
Just there ever so slightly. Well, he's a good boy, Tony Miletic. He's had his ups and downs in boxing. The fighting farmer, I suppose we could also call him, being a man of the land.
From Werribee, isn't he?
Werribee on the way to Geelong, Brian, that's correct. And here they come in for round two, a fairly even first round. Miletic throws out straight left hand, a jab, a beautiful jab it was too, over the top with the... Oh, Krikellis tried to Tom Bowler him with a left hook that would have put his head in the roof.
Oh, look at that uppercut.
Uppercut from Miletic coming in underneath. And
they are good shots.
The boys, see whiz, they must have heard my comments before because they've come out firing and they've been accurate so far in this second round. Malcolm Bullner splits them up.
Miletic is...
that was also a nice punch to the right hand. He's a fairly classic operator, Tony, once he's on the ball. Krikellis coming in hard when he's to land a couple of nice punches as well. So he's keeping himself in the contest.
He's still in the contest.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. He's going to be a hard man, Krikellis.
But they're very short rounds. These were like 2 minutes.
4 twos, I'd say. And there goes Krikellis with the left jab working nicely. Miletic takes the centre of the ring. The boys have got some fairly cracking pace too so far. Oh, nice right hand. Caught Krikellis on the jawline, Brian.
This round has yet to be won.
And Miletic now waiting. Krikellis comes in fairly nicely with some headshots, and Miletic now waiting again, trying to out-psych Krikellis in the middle.
They've run out of puff a bit at the moment, but coming back.
Just sizing each other up a bit. Miletic with a wry smile on his face, Brian.
I think he's taken the points in this round.
Yes, he's got back into it after that first round.
There's a good shot.
And Krikellis now underneath, working on the solar plexus of Miletic.
Oh, good shots.
And then there's a grappling affair in Melbourne.
They are playing for keeps here.
Now, Miletic, he's waiting now. He's counter-punching more than anything now, Brian, I'd say, Miletic.
Well, they're both counter-punching at this point. I think they're both a bit sort of worn out here.
Yeah, not so much worn out. I think they're just waiting for the right moment now, Brian, because they each know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, lovely
and there
fight.
goes the bell. That was a fine rounds boxing from Tony Miletic in that round. He actually upped the tempo from round one.
Yes,
and,
I thought he just has that round, but anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that was the first decisive round, you could say, so far in the fight, Brian.
Possibly it was.
We actually saw some very crisp
But
hitting from Miletic.
They're big sluggers, these fellas.
Not that Krikellis was slow in replying in response, but Miletic probably hit him a couple more times. So
How many fights has Krikellis had?
both boys come from kickboxing backgrounds. Krikellis with the 14 fights, Miletic with the 20 of a 15 wins.
So they're pretty evenly matched.
So they are fairly
they're evenly matched. Yeah.
Peter Maniatis prides himself on his matchmaking skills. He is the number one matchmaker in Victoria, along with Keith Ellis.
Well, the secret
is
is, Stephen, what he does. He takes them from a wide range.
He does.
All trainers.
Yes.
And that's the secret.
The main thing, isn't it?
That is the secret.
They all should do that, Brian, shouldn't they? And here we go for round three now. A very even affair, this. Miletic bounces out first, and Krikellis covering up as Miletic goes on the attack. Oh, Krikellis, beautiful left hand. Found its mark. And again on Miletic. He's taking the fight up to him. His corner's going mad. Tony Katamasidis over there, bellowing at his man.
You got to do that uppercut. That's the one that's scoring before.
And the boys grapple here now, but she was some
very nice
punches.
There.
Very nice punches from Krikellis so far in this round. Miletic comes in, snapping away with that jab, but missed.
Miletic's got to go to the body. Downstairs. There are the shots.
Krikellis now moving forward, waiting for the opportunity, and he gets hit again coming in by Miletic. Miletic again with the right hand over the top. Krikellis started the round brilliantly, but now Miletic is trying to make up ground. Miletic with the right hand across the looping shot round the ear hole of Krikellis. Malcolm Bullner splits them up, yells at the fighters.
Breaks them up, in they come.
And Miletic now grabbing with Krikellis.
He breaks them up. They're getting a little untidy at this point.
And that now Krikellis, a big left looping.
Oh, that's the shot.
Oh, underneath was Miletic.
Not too
Did
many
catch Krikellis with the uppercut, Brian.
Not too many scorers there, though.
Now in the corner now, Miletic is pinned to the neutral corner by Krikellis as he comes in with that right hand over the top.
Very evenly matched, this pair.
No doubt about that. Now Krikellis is waiting. He did try to force the issue there, but Miletic came in and they're grappling. And
grappling going on here now. And back with a left and a right, one with the body.
A nice tap to the short ribs
by Miletic. He's doing a little bit more this round.
And Miletic, now the fighting farmer, he's working hard here.
Miletic is working a little bit harder this round.
Oh, he worked hard last round, Brian. I think, in fact, Krikellis started off this round well, but Miletic's made up that ground. And there we go. It's a very close fight, but Miletic may have just done enough to maintain his lead.
It's maybe not.
And it'll be very interesting to see. Well, you've actually given, you did give Miletic the first round, didn't you?
I gave
you gave it to Krikellis, sorry. I thought you called Miletic.
Second round of Miletic. Third round, I'm going to call even. I've got him dead set even.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's a very close fight.
Last round coming up. The winner of this round will take the fight out, I'd say. This is a pro debut, is it?
It is for these boys as far as boxing is concerned, Brian, from what I know. And here comes Malcolm Bullner, calls the boys back
calls them in. Shake hands.
And the fourth and final round of this 4-2-minute round bout at middleweight level between Tony Miletic from the right corner in the silver trunks and gold pipings, Nick Krikellis from the blue corner in the black trunks and grey piping as we come in.
This is a real shootout now. It's like the OK Corral.
Miletic may have a slight advantage. Krikellis is the one who's going to have to attack very hard. Miletic will obviously try and hold his ground. Now Miletic now comes in with the right hand over the top, slaps Krikellis' ribcage, Brian. Oh, and he did the long jab too. He listened to his corner with that left jab,
And
Brian.
another one. A short one.
From Miletic. Krikellis now trying to push forward, but Miletic dodges and weaves, and Krikellis just poking out with that left hand, Brian. You've got to do more than that. You've got to actually bang with it.
You've got to score, Howard. That's the thing. It's got to hit.
Perhaps he's trying to find his range, but Miletic gives him a little slap on the back, let him know he's around.
Malcolm calling for head punching on the side.
No, another slap from Krikellis on the back of Miletic, and the mouthguard's gone out. There'll be time out here. Someone spat the mouthguard out or dropped it. And Miletic's gone to the neutral corner. Someone's lost a mouthguard here. It is Krikellis who has lost the mouthguard.
Accidental loss of the mouthguard. So on again.
And, now he calls the boys back in. Miletic comes out of the neutral corner. They're going to slug it out now. And Miletic trying to break free from Krikellis. Krikellis has got to do more here.
Again.
And he bangs away with the right hand, Nick Krikellis. A beautiful right hand punch from Nick Krikellis there, but Miletic has tied him up. That was probably Krikellis' best punch of the night. And Miletic comes in hard. Krikellis is smiling to the crowd. He says, I'm not hurt. Oh, Miletic turned his back on Krikellis, who raced in.
You can't do that.
He came in too hard there.
He can't do that.
He just raced in and he lost balance. He had an opportunity there. Miletic now throws the right hand. The boys are mixing it now. The bell won't be far away. Damien Memory's
the bell's not far away.
And the boys, Miletic's going to hang on to him now. He feels like he's got the fight, I'd say.
Oh, lovely.
Beautiful punch
beautiful shot.
from Miletic with the jab, Brian.
Miletic with the jab, I think.
And there goes the bell.
There goes. What a great round.
Very interesting first bout here tonight.
Very interesting first bout.
Malcolm Bollner is collecting the judges' scorecards, Brian. I think.
Well, how did you see it, Stephen?
Miletic, in my opinion, Brian, because he showed a touch more class. He was more accurate with his jab throughout most of those last 3 rounds. The first round was a scrappy affair, fairly even, but from then on, Miletic always did a bit more than Krikellis and did hit Krikellis with a big, I think it was a right hand in that last round just after they came back after the mouthguard problem. So,
well, it could go either way. I had a 1-point version to the red corner. I thought he might have just sneaked it in the last round.
I think he was a bit more accurate with the jab, and that's going to make the difference, Brian. I'll put my neck on the chopper there to say that I think Miletic is, from that point of view, has just done enough and shown enough class to get him through that fight. Not taking anything away from Krikellis, who was a dogged fighter, no doubt about that. Looking very happy he is here. Maybe he thinks he's got it, and I could be dead set wrong, but we'll wait and see. Waiting for the scorecards now to be presented to the ring announcer. Both boys. Nick Krikellis has approached the Miletic corner and he's having discussions.
This should be a tight decision.
Tony Miletic looks pretty happy himself. So.
Well, that doesn't mean a lot, though, does it?
Oh, no, not really. But
he's happy. It's better he's that way than sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think both boys are reasonably happy with the fact they were able to overcome that first round, which was scrappy, and turned into a very good fight.
And they survived it.
Survived it very well, Brian. 14-minute rounds amongst these boys. They do more than that in the gym, I'd say.
Yes, I do. I think you're right. But for a first pro fight, it was quite a good effort, really.
It was a great effort, yes, for sure. These two, because they're so used to their kickboxing skills, and don't forget they can't use their feet. The timing's all different, Brian. When you've only got to think about your hands as opposed to your feet and hands. Howard Leigh is waiting on the scorecards. It's taking some time. It could be very close, Brian. It could be.
Well, that's no indication. They just might be a bit slow tonight because things are not as quick as... There's been a few fights under query.
I reckon they should be reaching for the calculator, Brian. So, David, here we go. I'll now cross to Howard Leigh for the official decision.
He gave 38-39.
read out there? Well, a big draw there between those two boys. You couldn't take it away from either of them. Nick Krikellis was originally pronounced himself the winner there and thought he'd won it, but the scorecards hadn't been written out. We'll go to Howard Leigh.
And there's that called the same as I.
A draw?
No, she called it.
Sorry, 38-39
This
for
one here.
from Miletic.
That's right, no.
Sorted that out. I take it this is Denirol and Purcell, is it?
No, I'm just sitting up here freeway. I'm like, good idea. I won't leave
Ladies and gentlemen, this is truly about international flavor. Four rounds of boxing. When you go on my and occupying the red corner, we got to see Gracie to the yellow forward and George Basile. So we turn another champion with the best cut man in the business. Krikellis is sitting there. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, this will be an excellent bout here, Brian, coming up here. Oh, what can you do about a name like Brando Denirol, Brian? Or does that bring up a few interesting connotations there? The boy from South America.
Certainly does, and here we go.
Brian, I was about to say that Brando Denirol is coming out. He's got the blue trunks on there with some white endorsements on his trunks, OMX at the front, and of course Lethal Leigh Purcell, the Murray Thompson protege from the blue corner.
Australian ABL champion.
Yeah, amateur champion in the welterweight division.
The last one up in Mackay just recently held.
He's wearing long black trunks with white pipings. They're either short longs or long shorts, as Hank Stanley would say, Brian.
This would be second pro starter, I think. Is that correct?
Is that correct? Yes,
I
it
think
could
it
well
would be,
be.
yeah.
So these boys are looking pretty good here at the moment. Denirol comes in fast. He's absolutely made out of rock granite, Brando Denirol, when you look at that physique.
Had a lot of fights, I'd say.
from South America, and
Yeah.
and that in a good corner there too, and he came underneath there with a nice little right hand, a short right to the solar plexus.
Acapulco.
Yeah, made Leigh Purcell take a little bit of a look at him there with that solar plexus punch there, Brian.
Quite a nice steady start the way they're both going here.
Certainly are. So now Brando's going pretty well here. He's very careful at the
Very
moment.
positive.
Yeah, he is positive and treating Purcell with a lot of respect at the moment. No doubt
Purcell
about
moved
that.
into the centre of the ring here to take up a good situation. Standing.
Beautiful right hand from Denirol was a ripper.
Right hand on the cheek.
Yep, that was a very crisp punch from Denirol. Oh, and another attacking right hand from Denirol had Purcell bouncing around to the side. Oh, he's got problems with his boots, Purcell. His boots have come apart here,
collapsed here, yeah.
or is it a protector? I think it's his protector, I think.
Protector, is it?
It is his protector, and he's not happy about that at the moment. There's going to have to be some
Oh,
alterations
it'll be
made here.
time out. It'll be time out here.
Purcell. It'll be time out. This will be difficult for the boys
They'll need a towel in the corner.
to do, but he's not happy at all that his equipment has come unstuck, Brian.
That's a rare occurrence. Not often have I seen that.
These things can happen, Brian.
I've seen mouth guards fall out, Stephen, but
Malcolm Bullner is going to get the boy to try and put him on. He's going to have to leave the ring, I'd say.
no, they'll do it. They could do it with a towel, I think, couldn't they?
I don't know, but he's getting a new protector now, Brian, a more suitable fitting waist-banded protector, I'd say. And
This is going to be interesting.
he's going to put on over his trunks there for...
Oh, that's the Superman style.
Yeah, well, Brian, now you've a man of experience. Is that obviously allowed under the rules to put your protector over your trunks?
Well, they've done it, and I expect it. There's nothing can be do about it now.
Yep,
it's
that's
the way we
correct.
go.
Yep, well, he's pretty happy about that.
He's happy about
bouncing
that.
around okay, and they've certainly got a better protector than the one he had. And, Denirol there. Oh, a crunching right hand from Denirol to Purcell's ear hole. Was a fairly nice hard punch at the moment, and Purcell at the moment, this first round, he's got his work cut out.
Brando's quite an experienced performer, actually.
Very experienced and a very interesting first round. Brando Denirol certainly started that fight on. You know, I tell you what, he could blow out a candle at the moment, Brando Denirol. He hasn't spent a penny, Brian.
Look at his fitness. He hasn't got a shred of overweight on him. He's extremely fit.
In racing parlance, Brian, he hasn't spent a penny, Denirol.
That's right. He's extremely fit looking. And one would expect to be able to continue on along that vein. But I must say the last 20 seconds of that bout, Purcell showed a little bit more dash and took the fight up to him. I think that's what Purcell has to do, actually.
Yes.
How did you see that, Stephen?
Denirol. Here we go. Now, Denirol would be slightly ahead on my card at the moment, Brian. He did start the heavier puncher in that round. He got about 3 or 4 really crisp punches in on Purcell, and Purcell's got his work cut out.
Purcell. That's Purcell's go with that jab.
Yeah, well, now they're grappling now, and Denirol.
He's got the reach
Purcell
on.
comes in. He knows he's got some work to do.
Purcell's got the reach, I think. I think he's a bit longer in the arms. Huh? There's a good shot.
Maybe. We'll wait and see with that. But
that jab is the go.
And now Denirol waits. Purcell very wary before he moves in there with Brando Denirol. He knows he's got a very hard right hand. Oh, and Denirol over the top. Oh! And
one warning to Brando.
You know, when they turn around on you like that, Brian, and they leave that open target, it's very hard for a boxer not to strike out. So, but the referee said just be careful, I'd say.
Very even round so far.
And Denirol comes in underneath Brian, working along the body. Barry Michael would have liked that punch.
Good variation. Body shot to the head.
And Purcell now. The boys are very wary here at the moment, ducking and weaving Purcell.
They're both missing a bit, but...
now, not much being thrown at the moment, Brian. Purcell's moving well, but
he's moving well.
He needs to throw some leather. He's got to find an opportunity, but Deniro's very
strong.
strong.
On the whiskers there.
Denirol again, just waiting for the moment to strike, and does so beautifully, Brian.
I think Deniro's just on top in this round. Purcell, Lethal Leigh has got to find more. He must do more. What do you think, Steve?
Yes. Oh! Oh!
Knocked down.
Well, where did that come from? Luke Purcell, he's in the wrong corner to count him. Well, he's not in his own corner, he's in the blue corner, Brando Denirol. But Purcell pulled a punch out of the tomb. And now he's working away at the rib cage and the stomach region. Deniro's in trouble.
Oh, what a good
the
round.
bell saved him, I
What a
think.
good round.
He's a little bit groggy. He's gone to his corner. He sat in the stool. Keith Ellis won us there with his corner. But by golly, where did that punch come from Purcell, Brian?
What a big punch. It came out of the blue, did it not?
What a superb punch.
That really has put him in front, I think, on the cards. Must have.
This fellow was in trouble, Brian.
He was certainly.
He was behind.
He was in big trouble.
And he hadn't really done a great deal of work so far in the fight. Now, he came out with did you see the punch?
Yes, I missed the first one, not clearly enough. I didn't quite catch that, but the second one was a beautiful one.
The one that dropped Denirol.
The one that dropped it.
Yes, well, he has pulled a punch out of the stratosphere, Brian.
How did you see it, left or right?
I don't know. That's why I asked you. It was so happened so quickly. I couldn't
happened
see
so quickly.
Now, Deniro's lucid. He's talking to Dr. Peter Lewis at ringside, the ringside doctor. And he's lucid. He's able to continue. So
okay.
he was groggy at the end of that
He's
round. Let's see
okay.
what happens now. Purcell moves in. This is going to be interesting. Deniro now. He's oh boy. You just wouldn't have thought it would have happened in a million years there when you saw what happened there. It was unbelievable.
You wouldn't have expected it. But anyway, back to the game now. Here we come.
The Blackburn Butcher now. I know why he's got that nickname.
Well, I know why he's got the name Lethal Leigh as well.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That was a lethal punch.
An exocet missile, Brian. Oh! And
On
another
the-
right hand
on
from
the break.
Purcell. Brando Deniro took it well. He's still...
Right on the jaw, flush on the jaw.
yeah, it didn't rock him though, Brian. The electricity didn't travel to the brain. And he moves forward, Deniro. Purcell now is bouncing around. Now we know why
Brando
he's...
taking it up. I think that's Brando's. That's
we
his form.
now know why Purcell moves. He moves well. He waits. He strikes like a cobra, Brian. He just waits for the right moment.
Yeah, it was a big counter punch.
He's very patient. That's good in a boxer to see that in a young kid coming through.
Well, he's a counter puncher, obviously. Really, I mean, the good fighters are counter punchers.
Yeah, but a lot of good fighters, average fighters don't show
but Brando,
patience, Brian.
Brando's best.
Oh, right hand again, Brian. On Deniro.
Brando's taken a few this round too.
And that the text of this fight
He's
changing
not-
immeasurably in the last minute.
He's not taking the fight up to him like he was in the early round.
Oh, well,
Well,
Brian,
that's a good body shot by Brando.
I'd say Deniro at the moment would be somewhat groggy from the punishment he's absorbed in the last 90 seconds, Brian.
That's quite possible, Stephen. Yes.
And that's going to slow anyone down. Normally those punches are that sort of weight that Purcell just out-drop an ox. But
Another big shot by him. Good score.
Now Deniro's trying to pin Purcell into the neutral corner, Brian. And Bullner will break them up.
Purcell hasn't really capitalised on that yet, on that knockdown. Because Dominic...
now swinging wildly, Purcell. Deniro
Brando-
comes in. A bit of
Brando-
forearm in that. And now the boys, he splits them up. But, oh, gee whiz. Well, a Purcell round. He's had 2 rounds. He's turned this fight around on its head, he has, to a certain degree.
I've got him at 1 point ahead, Purcell.
Well,
I thought that round,
hang on a minute, Brian.
that round was a bit lacklustre, really.
You thought so? They did
I
get
thought
some
so.
crunching punches
Yeah,
in there
but
at the start of it, Brian.
But he didn't follow up a lot, I don't think. But anyway, it's purely a matter of opinion, Stephen. There's nothing, there's nothing as cast.
Well, look, there's not really a great deal of difference between our cards, really, but
no,
I did think
1 point
Purcell did
difference.
enough in that
Could
round
have well done it.
to just get there because of the...
I thought he slackened off the last minute of the round.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that, but then again, would you agree with me that Deniro probably didn't do enough to take up that fight, that last half of that round? He could have done more, but perhaps he wasn't capable of doing more, Brian.
He could have done a bit more, that's why I called it.
Now, Deniro's okay. He's all right now, back to square one for him, but he's
There's
going to
that
really
body
have to
shot,
motor
that
on
body-
now.
That body shot of Brando, watch it, it's a good one.
Yes.
He goes to the down again.
Yep. Good worker of the body, Brando Deniro, formerly of South America.
He could be back in business here if he's not stopped it quick enough.
Purcell is quick.
He's back up, he's taken the fight up to him.
He's going to have to do a lot of work here, Deniro, to overcome the last couple of rounds on the point scoreboard, Brian, I'd say, with the judges. Now Purcell pushes Deniro forward, Malcolm Bullner splits him up. Whoa, and Deniro turned his back on Purcell as he hammered away on the ropes. Why did he do that?
Well, I don't know. That's the last thing you
very
should do.
dangerous manoeuvre for
The
Denirol.
last thing you should do. Take your eyes off the fellow you're boxing.
And Purcell was like a seagull after a piece of fat, Brian, when he saw Denirol on an angle and was able to chop away with a couple of big right hands. Some big punches there from Purcell.
Back he comes. Back he comes again. That's a big one
Denirol,
to the body.
body shot was a beautiful punch on Purcell.
No,
And
punch.
Malcolm Bullner is being very vociferous out there
I
in the ring.
I thought Malcolm might have stepped between him at that point. He didn't.
No, well,
another body
Deniro's
shot.
still cogent. He's cogent, Brian.
Brando's taking this round up. He's taking the round up.
No, he'd need to, Brian.
That's
He's
what
copped some
That's
punishment.
how he can win. He's got to force him back.
Yeah, well, he's trying to force him
And
back and
again.
to get some nice
And
punches
again.
in on Purcell. Some good
Oh,
hit
what
shots.
a good effort. A big
But,
round by Brando.
Well, big finish of the round. He was looking
Oh.
pretty ordinary at first up. And Malcolm Bullner splits him up.
Brando's looking good at this point. End of the body. End of the body. He's certainly taking this round out.
He's come home. He's coming home hard. But the first part of the round, Brian, when he got trapped up on the ropes, I'm
Oh,
worried
another
about
one.
that.
Another one.
And he comes.
Another one. Big score. Body shot. Big score. Oh. Brando's round. Definitely.
I'm
do you
very
think?
worried about the start of that round, Brian.
What do you think, Stephen? Give me your honest opinion.
I will. I thought that
won
the
this
first
fight?
half of the round was Purcell's and the second half was Deniro's. But I thought that the punches just out by Purcell in the first part of the round nearly obliterated Deniro for the second time in the fight. So
Fight you go either way. I've got them even. I hate to say it, but I've got them even. Have you got it? You got 3 points.
I think Purcell is, without a shadow of a doubt, has through various stages. It's a very hard fight to judge because you have to look at the number of punches thrown or the quality of the punches thrown by a fighter. Now, during that fight, Purcell at 2 stages of the fight nearly obliterated his opponent, Brian.
Well, there's no doubt. But I don't see a wide margin. We'll see by the judges, but I don't.
See what the judges say.
See what the judges say.
This is where it's going to be interesting, and I
but
think we'll get some.
I think it'll be a fairly close fight.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get some very unusual scorecards at the end of this fight,
Well,
Brian.
we'll get some very
Because
unusual.
we've got a couple here at the moment.
We've got
right
a couple
here.
at the moment. We're going to get more as the night goes on.
We'll wait for Howard Leigh to get
Wait
the
for
results,
Howard
but,
Leigh.
Purcell nearly buried Deniro in the second round.
But unfortunately, he
He
not.
didn't bury him,
He
but he
didn't
nearly
follow
did.
up. He didn't follow up.
And in the first part of the last round on the ropes, when Deniro, for some inexplicable reason, turned his back on Purcell, and Purcell clubbed him with 2 big right hands. Now, rocked him with those punches. Now, that's got to tell on the judges to a certain degree, Brian. Deniro came home hard. I noticed he called 4 or 5 good, great body shots, no doubt about that. And Barry Michael would have been very impressed with the body work, as we were. But is it the weight of punches or the number of punches?
Oh, certainly the weight's got something to do with it.
Yeah,
I mean, you play cricket, don't you?
well, I haven't for a long time, but what do you think? I've been hit the head with a cricket ball too many times.
You hit a 4,
But,
you hit a 6. So how do you hit the ball?
my feeling is tonight the ice packs there'll be more ice packs bought at the 7-Eleven by the Deniro camp than the Purcell camp.
You could be right. I mean, it was a very close fight, I think, though. I don't think there was a lot in it, but let's wait and see.
We'll wait and see from the judges. Howard Leigh is in discussions with Malcolm Bullner ringside, and he is attempting to get the cards, and we will very soon, shortly go to Howard Leigh for the official result. Now go to Howard Leigh.
Next in to take the chief commentator on everybody else's feature. Go live on Sky Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, let us go back to we have unity. Our three judges also see the fight eye to eye. Judge Ignatius Miscellaneous, 36 to 39. Judge McCroucher, 37-39. Replicated by Nicky Williams, 37-38. Your winner, and still unbeaten, lethal, Leigh Purcell.
no one's done one. They won't do them tonight because they're only. But
Oh,
in
the
a
spin
professional
back.
fight, the spinning back kick where they spin around and the back of the heel catches someone in the face, that really causes some damage.
You've seen that happen, have you?
Oh yeah, we've seen it happen. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any bad injuries at this point or not?
Not really. You get the odd. You get the occasional. Before the shin guards came in,
What's
you used to
shin
get the
guard?
occasional broken leg or something. But he's got a shin guard problem.
This is stupid. This is
That's right. No, that's good for the fighters to make sure they're wearing that protection in the
Yeah,
legs.
but
We
I
don't
mean,
want to see broken legs,
They've got
Brian.
to keep adjusting. It slows down the whole performance.
No, that's all right. No, we're not commentating this con. This is exhibition. Don't
I
worry
can
about
see
that.
he's a kickboxer.
Yeah, we're not going to do any dry runs, mate.
He's a complete kickboxing aficionado.
You are an aficionado of kickboxing.
Well, I've become one, Brian. I have become one.
Howard Lee has been a big influence.
He has been becoming since Sam
I'm
Greco,
a
of course.
traditional boxing man myself,
Good.
right? I
Good
don't
on
put
you,
any of
Rob.
this newfangled
None
stuff.
of this gets You can keep that.
You got to remember, Brian, I've been Sam Greco's mentor lawyer for 12 or 13 years. So, I mean, he has. I went to see him. His first bout was Kaiser King Karate in 1991 or two at the tennis at the Glass House.
What about the Turk you work with?
The Turk has been around to see me, but
Did he ring you up at all?
I preferred him on, Brian, to someone who had more immigration law expertise, you know, for his Algerians who'd absconded here. Next year. Yes, next, where are you? That man you're fighting is something to think of. Yeah, you were. We're going to be sorry. Now in a national bout either here or over there, won't you?
You know, I prefer the Japan totally.
Spaghetti bend.
Still, man.
So, don't they?
The fitness.
IBS, yeah.
Second time,
He's
top of that division.
To see you here, you're in heavy training at the moment for your big fight in Glasgow, Scotland against James Hare. How are you feeling?
Absolutely awesome, Steve. I'm just flying, been training hard with Stewie actually. So the whole gym actually is really going good at the moment.
Excellent. Well, that's great to hear. And here tonight, great to have you in the commentary panel. Taking over there from Brian Mimbry here at ringside. Stewart Moller has got the black trunks on and the purple pipings. And Nick Lantouris, of course, as Howard Leigh said, in the black trunks. The white pipings, Victorian light heavyweight title fight, 8 3-minute rounds. And, the glove is a little bit of a facial shove there, Julian, from Moller, just to let Lantouris know he's in the ring with him.
Yeah, that won't hurt him. That won't hurt him.
Laces up.
It's
Julian.
always a pleasure to be here with you anyway, Stephen.
Of course, Julian. It's magnificent to have you here, and good fun here at the Malvern Town Hall in the heart of Robert Menzies territory in Malvern here, and some of the local identities. I notice business people of Malvern have attended here tonight, along with your normal boxing aficionados.
Yeah, that's right. It's great to see. Boxing needs as much support as it can get.
Yes, fantastic, and a great venue for Peter Maniatis Team Promotions to get hold of, the Malvern Town Hall in Melbourne, Victoria here, and Lantouris now poking away. Oh, nice slap to the belly region by Lantouris there on Moller. And Moller swinging wildly with that right hand. And now, Julian, we've seen these boys a couple of times over the last 12 months or so. Yep. And Lantouris, how do these, both of them, look to you, I should say?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of an untidy affair at the moment. Nick's doing what he usually does. He gets around, boxes, move, and uses a long left hand, and moves around. Stewie Moller, like I train with him, he sort of, so I know his style, but he's a little bit unsettled at the moment, I think.
He looks like he's put a bit of body strength too. He's come up in the weights division, hasn't he? We did see him earlier on in his career against Paul Murdoch, and he fought a reasonable fight that night, although I think Murdoch got the better of him towards the finish. Oh,
great right hand
right
there.
Hand has dropped Lantouris to the canvas, Julian.
And that was always the one we were going to be working on too, is that right hand, and he's just executed that one beautiful.
That was crisp.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Probably the best punch we've seen all night from anybody.
A bloke working into your, he works to his left all the time. He's going to walk into your right hand, so you just have to put it out there. He's going to walk into it.
Oh, gee, well, he certainly did that. And gee whiz, Murray Thompson's got Stewart Moller in excellent condition here.
Yeah.
He caught him again on the side of the jaw, Julian. Lantouris, is he? How does he look? He's not glazed or anything. He still looks cogent, but
he seems okay. We seen him get hit by Joseph Pilu that time,
yes.
And he come back from that. That was a cracker right hand,
Yeah. Oh, ripper punch.
One thing with Nick too is that he when he jabs and he brings his left hand back down to his shorts, basically.
Yes.
I feel that's very dangerous, because especially with a right-hand puncher. I love people that do that myself because I know that I'm going to hit them with the right hand every time.
It just creates a target-rich environment for you.
Oh, yeah.
And that now, well, perhaps Lantouris, is that a mechanical fault in his procedure, is it?
Well, it's just one thing that they do. They do that. He just got hit by a nice left hook then too.
Again, yes. He's in a bit of trouble. He got a little bit of a forearm in there as well, got a shove. And
definitely a 10A round there to Stewie Moller,
certainly, and Lantouris camp have got their work cut out here.
But you see, Stewie, one thing about Stewie Moller is that, like with his record, they don't really know what he's like, but like I know what he's like from in the gym, and he's a tough boy, and he loves to fight. That's his problem. We've got to sort of slow him down a little bit. But that was an excellent round for him.
It certainly was. Well, I've always had a high opinion of Stewart Moller. I think he's always been competitive, is the word I'd use.
Oh,
he's never
definitely.
beaten, and he'll go all the way. And you're right about that. He just wants to keep going, doesn't he? And perhaps you're saying he overtrains.
Well, not necessarily overtrained. Just sort of he wants to get in there too much and fight, and basically that's when you can get the cut eyes and everything like that. So you basically, if you settle down and you let your punches flow, that's when you keep yourself out of trouble and you land the knockout punches.
Yes. Yeah, well, he has in previous fights when he has been beaten, it has been from eye cuts.
Eye cuts, that's right.
Head cuts and
that's right.
Blood dripping into the eye socket, which doesn't help, does it?
But it's only early in the fight, Steve.
But it's great to see him here tonight. They're fighting beautifully here at the moment. And these two boys, this could be the big one, this fight tonight.
I'd say Nick Lantouris' corner now would just want him to step back and use that jab, like he did with Joseph Pilu.
Yes. Now that's what he needs, probably, to move around a bit more, Lantouris. When he moves, he seems to be at his best with that jab working, but once he sticks himself to the ring and fights in that stationary position, that's when he gets whacked. Yeah,
that's right, yeah. Especially with that left hand down there like that. Yeah. You're always going to be coming into a right hand.
Going to be trouble for him, and we'll have to see how he goes too after that knockdown as to how his mind's feeling. Let's hope he's okay. And that working away at the body,
that was nice work. Nice work. Stewie's just trying to land the big one now. He's just got to settle down and let him come,
He did this, I think, in one of his
yeah.
previous bouts,
Yeah,
Stewart, waiting
yeah,
for that bomb to
yeah,
land the whole
yeah.
time, and it didn't quite come for him, did it?
And, you know, he doesn't want to let Nick Lantouris back in the fight and basically keep scoring punches because, you know, that's all he needs for that little, you know, like he just did then,
Yeah,
you know.
chipping away,
Yeah.
and Lantouris trying to work his way into the fight now, and he's on his bike too. He's using the ring. Well, Moller hit him with a couple of nice shots there. The right hand was nice. Now that right cross
that's
across
great.
the jawline.
Keep working.
And then started to work downstairs around the belly region there, Julian. Stewart did.
Oh yeah, Stewie's good in there like that. He's a tall fighter, but he can fight like a small man. He gets in there and lets them go and rough people up.
Yep, and working upstairs and down. That's Barry Michael. Now he'd love to see that, wouldn't he? He loves the downstairs work, doesn't he?
Yep.
Stewart now ducks in, but Lantouris now working away. The elbows of Moller in the way.
Don't stand there. Don't stand there.
And Moller stationary. Oh, Tombola right hand.
Got him.
Oh, and got him a beautiful punch to the stomach from Moller on Lantouris, Julian.
But what happens is, you know, like he had Nick hurt then, and Nick sort of grabbed on, but still he's trying to push him off, you know. Oh, he's hit him again.
Again with the right hand, caught him moving away. It was a beautifully timed punch from Moller. Moller's timing's fantastic. He nearly caught him again with that right. That's a dangerous punch, that big right hand of Moller's. That's a beautiful punch. Oh, and again he's going, repetitious now with it, Julian, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. Well, it's always going to be there. That's what I said. With the left hand down like that, the right hand's always going to be home.
Gee whiz. And now you'd think that Lantouris, now his corner should probably...
hit him again,
you've got to look
one.
at. And see if Lantouris can correct that defect in the style, if it is a defect, and he pointed out it could be.
I'd like to see Stuart Moller just drop to the body a little bit now, actually.
Yes.
But you know, Nick Lantouris, he'll just keep fighting his same fight. You know, basically get around and jab and score. He just scored well then.
A bit low downstairs there from Nick, but another ball around. A couple of big shots in there from Stewart Moller. And gee whiz, Nick Lantouris, even though it's an 8-rounder, he's got his work cut out already with this boy.
Yeah, it can't be healthy to get hit with those right hands after, you know, consecutive. It's you know, it's gonna take its toll on you after a while. So, like, you know, the best thing is you catch it with your hand or miss it.
Yes,
get out of the
try and get out of the way, I suppose, but he's not moving. I mean, he's used the ring a few times, but Nick, even towards the end of that round, did slow up a little bit again, didn't he? And then tried to slug it out. Getting in close, I mean, Moller to hit close.
Stewie, as you can see, he's the biggest. He's a lot stronger than Nick as a puncher. So Nick's really got to get on his bike and get around and box him and get the points.
Now Moller's obviously
the only way I can see him winning.
A big trainer in the gymnasium, Julian, by the sound.
Oh yeah, he trains well, yeah.
And here they come now. Malcolm Bullner brings them around for round 3. Moller's built up a bit of a lead at this point. Oh, I think he's got a slight... Is that a slight mouse forming underneath his left eye, Moller, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably from a head clash.
Yeah, it could well be, I'd say. They've been close a few times.
Nice combination.
Underneath goes Lantouris there, and he's trying to look a little bit more radiant in this round here, Nick. Trying to spruce himself up a bit. Moller's bouncing around now, and
that's
that
nice
left hand
jab.
on the top
Beautiful
was a nice jab, wasn't it?
That's what you got to do. Now, even if you're the biggest puncher, you still don't have to just win by being one knockout, one punch. You win by a variety of punches and a number of punches. You know, work rate. That's when you knock them out.
Yeah,
and if you've got the power there, you can put them out cold.
Yeah, you can do that.
Good body shot.
As long as he's aware of that. If he keeps working away upstairs and downstairs on Lantouris, well, he's got the victory in sight.
Got to keep working. Don't just walk in there like that. Got to just work your way in.
Yep. Let's hope that he doesn't get too overconfident to Moller.
That's it. Work your way in with 3s and 4s, and then that's when you're gonna catch hold of it.
Yeah, when you're building up points too. So even if you can't knock someone down, you've got your points worked out.
Yeah, that's right.
Lantouris catches him in the blue corner. Not much power in those punches though, and Moller was easy enough to get out. In fact, Lantouris now going back from those punches that he threw. Moller now, they're grappling. Malcolm Bullner's bellowing at the fighters now. And the two boys get split up.
He gets in there and rips them apart, Malcolm. That's what I like about Malcolm.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a great referee, Malcolm Bullner. He's done it all, title fights galore, and knows his job. Moller tried that right hand again, which whipped around the neck
I'd like to see him throw a left hand with it too.
Yes, you'd like to see if he's got a left hook. That jab works nicely for him, but the left hook, slipped through it then. And not a bad punch either. I think his power zone is that right hand, though. That is that's his atomic bomb, I'd say.
But he doesn't want to stop in there and get hit with shit like that.
No. That's we thought we would call agricultural punches, Julian.
That's right.
Probably what
That's
we were
right.
trying to
That's what we were trying to say.
And that Lantouris now bouncing around. He's just got to concentrate, as you said, work down low and upstairs. And
There,
they'll have effect.
jab.
And now Stewart, Moller now allowing
Lead
probably
off there.
Lantouris a bit off the hook here. Lantouris starting to try and
Step,
move a
he's
bit.
got to step across a bit more too.
Not like himself, Lantouris. He used to move a lot more than that in his fights, where he used the whole ring, continually keep moving. But that knockdown in the first round may have
Slowed
had
him
an
down the
effect.
legs a bit, I think.
I think it may have had that
that
effect.
happens. That happens.
The electricity went to the brain, and it's probably entered other regions of the body.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, at the moment, I really think that Stewie Moller's really letting Nick Lantouris back into
Back in
the
the fight,
fight
yeah, if
because
anything.
he's trying to knock him out with one shot.
Yeah, probably just...
He's got
to lay
to.
off a bit that round, Stewart. Maybe he thought, well,
Well,
look, this is my rest round.
He's still
and,
throwing the big ones, Steve. But what he's got to do is put the pressure on him. He's got the guy, in a little bit in a spot of bother.
Yeah.
And he's trying to knock him out. And Nick's the type of fighter. Well, I think he's got good evasion and he can get away from him. And
he can.
and
He just
actually
concentrate well, Nick, and
yeah.
you can see the punches coming most of the
That's
time.
right,
but
yeah.
he's got that defect with the left hand hanging low. He's always going to let Moller in. He's got to be very careful with that, but he's not moving as smoothly, and that could be a result of that first round knockdown. May have slowed him up. So he's got his work cut out to Lantouris because he's got to make up ground now.
I still think his legs would be they'd be back under him by now. I'd say
I
it's
think so, yep.
2 rounds after that. But Stewie's sort of banging away too much. He's just got to let the work go. But maybe that's just Nick Lantouris, the way his style. He's probably creating that. That's what happens. Styles make fights.
Can happen. Well, I suppose Murray Thompson, no doubt, in Stuart Moller's trainer would be telling him to
telling him to do that.
work
Throw
up and down.
punches, yeah.
And
He'd
that,
be-
but
Murray would be getting upset with just the one punch trying to knock him out.
yes,
There,
he
he's
wouldn't
trying
like
to get
that.
angles. There.
he'd like to see him probably work away
Yeah,
into the body of Lantouris
I'd like to see him throw a jab.
continually. Oh, and a little bit of indiscretion there. Malcolm Bullner
Yeah.
reading at the riot act to Stuart Moller.
He does that to me in the gym all the time.
And Stewart needs to probably he could be doing a bit more, working away at the body, but he's decided he still appears to have stayed in his current style, Julian.
Yeah. Good body shot.
And that's all trying to crunch. He's trying to line that right hand up, Julian. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Definitely hitting him with big shots. I tell you, Nick Lantouris is a tough boy. He's a tough boy.
Well, tough and hard, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no doubt that
That's the
Stewart's
jab.
made a decision, I think, on that right hand as being the punch that he wants to try and end this fight quickly. But you could easily see it going the distance, because he may not be able to alleviate Lantouris with that punch. And now the boy's getting a bit scrappy again.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to see him with the work rate.
In fact, Stewart,
punches.
I doubt very much he'd be having a fitness problem, really, but he's slowed up 25% since his first two rounds.
He's still got plenty in him, but
In the tank,
and I think Nick would as well.
You'd hope
they've,
so.
They've both done plenty of miles, the boys.
In an 8-rounder, you'd expect that they've done plenty of work. And nice right hand from Lantouris. Best punch he's thrown all night, Julian, I think.
But see that again, Steve. That's what I sort of say. If you've hit a bloke with your best shots, what you've got to start thinking to yourself, what am I going to do now? And
Well, I think
you've got to win by points. And then if it comes, it comes.
Yeah, I think Nick's aware of that. In his career so far, he hasn't really got a knockdown punch. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised there if Lantouris has got a slight welt or a spot where he seems to be bleeding from a cut. Is he on the face? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. No,
it
I
might
don't
be
think
sweat
so.
around the other side of the face. I can't see because he's not here. But
No, it's okay.
is there,
It's a
no, it's
little
only
bit of
just
a bruise,
it's a welt forming, a mouse forming under his left eye. Is it cut? Is there a bit of blood
Actually,
there?
it is a bit
I think
of
there is a
blood,
bit of
yeah.
blood. I did see a trickle.
Yeah.
And that starts to open up. Well, it's not going to affect him. He'll be able to see all right because
That's
it's
where
underneath.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
done some big damage, that punch. He's in trouble. He's out on his feet, Lantouris.
You've got to stop
he's
it.
gone.
You've got to stop the
Absolutely
fight. Stop
gone.
the
He's got to
fight.
stop it because he's had it. He's in big trouble, Lantouris, and that's it. Oh, big punch from Stewart Moller.
I
Lantouris in the stratosphere. Lantouris is groggy.
I really think that that shouldn't have got to that point. Then
No.
I think if his corner had any respect for him, he should have thrown the towel in. He was absolutely gone, and that was he was hurt. He was absolutely hurt.
I agree
That was
with you,
too
Jim.
dangerous.
That first right hand would have stopped the knocks.
Gone. He was gone.
Would have dropped the knocks, Julian. And Lantouris was gone. He was unconscious on his feet. He just didn't drop to the canvas.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. I
Yeah.
agree with you that was allowed to continue. The referee probably couldn't see the glazed eyes of Lantouris like we could.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
didn't know, but his
But
corner,
see,
you're right.
I know the punch and power of Stewie Moller too, and you don't need someone to be in there like a sitting duck,
No, not at all. He was just standing there motionless and was unable to protect himself.
Yeah, that's right.
And the
But-
corner, unfortunately, maybe he did have his back to his corner. They give them the credit, the credit of the doubt. They benefit of the doubt. They may not have been able to see where he was at, but they would have seen the punch, though.
Yeah, definitely. But excellent win there. That shows you the strength of Stewie Moller, and I think that'll really catapult him in the Australian ratings, the way he won that fight.
Yes.
And he can start taking on the big guns. I think he's got it there, and he's doing the work, and he's just ready to go.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Great to see Stubbsy there.
And he's not too happy, Nick Lantouris.
Stewart's on a roll. 3 big knockouts in a row. Big kicking, Tom Murray in Adelaide. 4 in a row, you are too. You're correct. You're on a real roll. Big right hands. Get down the run and throw the release. What's the new career around, Stewart? Since Stewart Murray Johnson. Okay, well, what's on the horizon? Because there are 4 knockouts in a row. Coming up on May 24. How about 3 cheers? Returning his championship to the ball. Hit it! Hit it! Hit it! Okay, Ryan P. Curry and Lantouris. Look at the fight. Happy with that. This event has been assigned by the professional boxing club at Sports Board. Chairman Bernard for University middleweight champion. Long-time Dr. Simon Hillman. Ringside. The ringside position assigned to this project called Krikellis. And he is valuable assistant. When the bell tells the first time, 6 rounds boxing man and 10 ring referee, Ignatius Purcell. Now let's get ready for Team Promotions Best. Power to you, the people of Melbourne City Hall, on behalf of Team Promotions. You can run, but you can't hide in the ring. It's the real thing, as Russell Morrison, jockey on the standard.
You're going to come down straight away, are you? Yeah. He's going to come down. here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions with Nick Tetoros in the blue corner here tonight, junior middleweight bout, and David Yude in the red corner. And I have with me the one and only Peter Maniatis. Peter, how are you?
Good to be here with you, Stephen. Nick's shaping up as a southpaw. He's coming out nice and tight. David's circling, trying to land his right hand. Nick just ducks over the top of that. Nick's, if he gets past this fight, he could be ranked in the top 5 in the WBO in the world. And DeMarcus Corley, we've already spoken to him about a shot. And Don King's heard about it. We've emailed Don King and Carl King, so it's all happening for Nick Tetoros at the moment. He's bigger than Elvis Presley in Melbourne at the moment.
And so are you, Peter. If you're talking to the King Promotions in America, that's superb news to ensure that Nick Tetoros gets every opportunity to fight at the absolute ultimate level in the USA. It'd be great to see. All big left hand to the belly region of Yude by Nick Tetoros, and follows up with the right hand there. And David Yude working away on Tetoros. In front of the commentary area, Peter. Gee whiz, these boys are
they're going for it.
They're going very hard early, Peter. Oh,
big right hand from Tetoros.
Caught Yude. Now, Yude's fought some of the big boys in Victoria, and he's been knocked out a few times, but he knows how to bang.
Nick's giving him a lot of weight too.
There's a weight differential there. And
there's a couple of kilo there, so Nick's a tough guy. I mean, he just withstands it. I've seen Nick in some wars.
He's been in some big wars, Nick Tetoros.
Big straight left hand there.
Last year at Collingwood, he fought a big war with Ruben, and here comes Nick again. He's trying to measure Yude at this point of the fight. Yude, of course, in the silver trunks. Oh, big punch.
Big left hand.
Tetoros rocked Yude. And that right hand, that's a lethal punch, Peter.
Oh, another big one. I don't think this fight's going to go long. I can't see it going long.
He's gone to his knees, Yude. There, it was a slip, wasn't it?
It was a slip, yep. Referee saying Nick straight onto him. I think he's got him hurt.
He has. I think you're right, Peter. That
Nick's got him hurt
on at the moment because that second or first, both right hands, in fact, caused a bit of damage to David Yude, no doubt. And let's see if the lad can increase his ratio here at the moment. On Tetoros swung that left hook high, wide and handsome. Just missed him, though. He would have put his head on the canvas if he had hit him. But there goes the end of the first round, Peter.
Oh, easily Tetoros' round. He's in marvellous shape, isn't he?
Oh, he's in magnificent physical condition. There's no doubt. I don't think I've seen him in better nick, but he is always in excellent condition, Pete. I must say he presents for his fights in nothing less than 100% physical condition to ensure that he fights at his top level.
Oh, definitely. I'd like to have a big thank you out there to all the Sky Channel listeners, Matthew Brooks and Jeff Fennick and all the boys. Hello. I hope you're enjoying this main event.
I hope they do. It's been a top night already here at the Malvern Town Hall, now becoming the home of boxing in the Melbourne area. Malvern Town Hall, home of Sir Robert Menzies of all people. And we've got some interesting people. The great thing about boxing here tonight is that there are a number of local identities also turning up, Peter.
Definitely, we've got Richard Stubbs and a few other celebrities. Ken James in the crowd. Gee, it's a who's who here tonight. A few AFL footballers. They're nobodies to the boxers tonight.
They come from everywhere, Peter. And sell-out crowd. They've heard about this fight from all over the neighbourhood. All across Victoria. Also reported on Sport 927 as well there at length. So here goes Nick Tetoros. With the left hand, the right as well. And David Yude runs around. Tetoros again trying to work in underneath on the body, which is good to see. Yude now, he's got his work cut out, Peter.
Oh, definitely. Tetoros is just lining him up now. And nice body shot.
And now again with that left hand, that time Tetoros found the mark on David Yude. He's bouncing around, he's trying to get away from those lethal punches. And again on the ropes, Tetoros, but this time with the left hand in this round, showing some remarkable accuracy. Doing a great job, Nick Tetoros, there at the moment. He's got the full range of punches, upstairs and down.
Oh, he's just an absolute awesome fighter at the moment. I don't think there's a super lightweight that can beat him out there in Australia, or welterweight, to be honest with you.
He is certainly in the last 2 years, for coming from kickboxing to boxing, he's been able to change sports so well, Peter.
Well, he's won his last straight 8 fights, so I mean he's won 9 fights and only lost 1, so it's a fantastic record.
Oh, it's a great track record, and of course he's a student too, a fighting physician, I think they called him in the paper.
That's right, he's a former PABA champion, and he handed that title in, he didn't lose it.
No.
And he's also the current Asian Pacific champion, and there's not too many people that want to fight him.
No, not at all. No, he's a hard man to beat in this region, and no doubt he'll be heading overseas pretty soon, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. There's a big fight lined up for him in Vegas if he gets over this tonight.
Oh, beautiful.
Later on this year. I've been talking to Mark Reels, he's the WBA president, and big things are expected of Nick Tetoros.
That's good to see. And now David Hude's trying to turn the tables here in the corner. He's had a couple of punches. Some of them were blocked, working away at Tetoros on the left corner. A bit of hanging on there as well, but Nick works his way out of it. Not too much trouble to get out of that problem area. And the end of round 2. Better round from David Hude. Probably another Tetoros round, but
easily Tetoros' round.
And he's looking pretty good. He's got, of course, the 7-time world kickboxing champion in his corner, Stan the Man Longanidis.
And Nick Matthews, he's in his corner, and his brother Jimmy. It's quite a competent,
his brother there,
fantastic
hanging onto the
corner.
legs and giving him a drink of water. Stan the Man seems to be the number 1 trainer there for Nick Tetoros at the moment there, Peter.
Jimmy and Stan are the 2 chief trainers there, definitely,
Yes.
with Nick Matthews as a condition. Peter Sloko's in there too, he's a masseur.
Yeah, well, there's a full range of assistance there for Nick Tetoros, providing the team that will take Nick Tetoros overseas.
Team Tetoros, it's on the way up, there's no doubt about that now.
No doubt whatsoever. Looking at the form of this man over the last 2 years, he's been, and he's getting into his peak situation now, at his top situation.
He's the most popular man in Melbourne. I mean, the Raw, this stadium, it's a sold-out stadium. And the Raw, the stadium came up. We haven't heard that in a long, long time.
No, it
brings back memories of the good old days with Jeff Fennick.
It certainly does, with Jeff at the tennis centre, and he'd no doubt be enjoying this fight on Sky television. So Tetoros now with that left hand, it's a beautiful straight left, and he knows how to work the right hand as well. Hude trying to move away from those punches, trying to use the ring.
David Hude's got a good victory against Nick Lund.
Oh, he swung that right hand a bit high wide and handsome there, and Tetoros bends down, and Ignatius Miletic, top WBC referee, splits them up.
He's got a good victory over Nick Lund, and he's also got a victory, nearly beat James Johnson, the American fighter. It was nationally ranked in America, so
Yeah.
I mean, Hude's very, very dangerous.
Oh, very much so. He's there's a few boys coming out of Tasmania now who are proving to be red-hot performers, and David Hude is one of them.
You've got to realise Hude's had 3 months preparation for this fight. He normally takes fights on short notice.
He does, and he has come over here before, short notice fights.
He's trained 3 months for this fight, and he's in the best shape of his life, I'd say.
Yep, well, this is a telling bout for him at this level.
Don't be fooled by his physique. That's his natural build. He has put the miles in.
Yes. No, I wouldn't expect him to do anything less, actually, for a fight of this magnitude. Oh, Tetoros working away.
Stunning knockout! He's not going to get up!
The left hand was the one, I think, that did the damage to that eye. He's opened up a cut. At the same time, brought you to the canvas.
No, stop the fight.
It's all over. Ignatius Miletic won't let him go on. A big eye cut. David Hude's unhappy. But the eye cut there, you'll see it, that brought him to the canvas. He was in all sorts of trouble. The boy was brought to the ground, and he's not happy with it because up until then he thought that he was doing the job and being able to hang in there with Nick Tetoros. Dr. Peter Lewis is having a look at David Hude. Brian Memory's joined me at ringside, and he seems to be fairly well okay, but there was no doubt that Tetoros was on top. He won the first 2 rounds, and in that 3rd round, Brian, he brought him to the canvas. So how did you see it that way? You had him ahead by a couple of points leading into that round.
Quite clearly a couple of points ahead, and quite a devastating body punch that took him right out. That was the end of it. No argument.
Oh, no argument at all. And in fact, this now puts Tetoros on the map. I think he's now 10 wins in a row, or 9 out of his last 10 fights on the schedule. And Peter Maniatis is talking to the King family in Las Vegas, Brian, which is where Nick Tetoros may be heading for a big fight in America coming up very soon.
Excellent, excellent. So the next fight is in the US, is that correct?
Well, that's Peter Maniatis commentating a moment ago, and he's been talking to the King family in Las Vegas, and he said that if he beats David Hude, he's looking at a fight in the USA, an eliminator fight in that junior middleweight division, Brian.
Oh, very good, excellent.
tonight from Team Promotions here at ringside. Brian Memry, Julian Holland and Peter Maniatis. Stephen J. Peake commentating here, and Nick Tetoros is on the way. As you just heard from Peter Maniatis, he's been talking to the WBA president.
WBO.
WBA, that's right. In Los Angeles.
Alphabet soup.
Well, the World Boxing Association. They'll be right there. Talk to the big man there, and hopefully after Tetoros gets past his next fight here, he'll get a title shot in this division in the USA. So well, it's a good night.
Stephen, he looked impressive. You've got to say that much, haven't you?
He certainly did. He's going along perfectly at the moment. Tetoros, as I said, he's had 9 wins out of 10 fights in his last 10 outings. So he's on the way. So fantastic promotion here tonight. Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions at Malvern Town Hall. Thanks to Sky Channel, and good luck to Matthew Brooks and Jeff Finnick in the studio, and we'll see you at the next fight night. Good night on behalf of Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions, Brian Memry.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for the pleasure of your company.
We're very happy to commentate with you, Brian.
Excellent.
And as I did with Julian Holland and Peter Maniatis, we'll see you at the next fight night. Thank you.
Thank you.